This Shabbat we talk about the journeys of Abraham Avinu. God puts him through a variety of tests and trials. And Abraham responds with faith, with tenacity, with strength. And he bequeaths the response to trials and tribulations to you and I, his children. Amongst the journeys, we are introduced to a moment where God appears to Abraham in a vision. And Abraham turns to God and says, "You've given me all the promises of blessings, but I don't have a child. And what about Jewish continuity? What about the fear of tomorrow? How is tomorrow going to happen when I don't see a way forward?" And God takes Abraham, by Yotzei to Achutz, he takes him out of the tent, and he says, "Look up to the sky. Do you see the stars? Well, as you see the numerous stars, Ko Yezarecha, so will be your children, as numerous as the stars of the night sky." And one of the messages that God was giving Abraham was that the stars shine at night, in the darkest moments, when there does not seem to be a possible way forward. It is our ability and responsibility to shine like stars, to bring light to the night. And the light is not only illuminating, it also is a compass of the night. We track our journeys at night by being able to look at the stars. It gives us direction, it gives clarity of purpose. But even beyond that, the Midrash tells us that God took him out of the tent to look at the stars. Why was that necessary? If it's a vision, that means God is being perceived in the mind of Abraham, and all of this discussion is happening in a vision. Why would he need to leave the tent in order to see the stars above? And the Midrash says that God was saying something more profound to Abraham. Abraham had turned to God and said, "I calculate my possibilities. I look at myself. It is impossible for me to have a child. The way I see and read my possibilities, there's not going to be a child." And God turns to Abraham and says, "Tsei mitzagninu shulcha." Go out of the tent, not just the tent. Go out of your self-proclaimed limitations. Go out of your horizons. Go out of what you see yourself as today. Because it is true. Abraham will not have a child. But I'm about to give you an extra letter in your name, which is the letter Hey, representing Hashem. Avraham Molid. Abraham, with the introduction of the connection to Hashem, with a spiritual dimension, is going to give birth to a child. And there is a future. And what God is telling Abraham and you and I is that we look at ourselves and we see the limitations, we see the difficulties, we see the problems, and we become conditioned by the night sky, by the darkness. And God turns to you and I and every single one of us. Go out of your self-proclaimed limitations. You see yourself small, and so you will be. But if you recognize that you have a soul and a spirit and an attachment to Hashem, there is no limit to what you can achieve and accomplish. Don't confine yourself to the little tent that you have created. There's a whole world out there that you are able to achieve and accomplish. And may Hashem give us the confidence and the strength to be children of Avraham Avinu, to be stars of light in the night sky, and to be able to step out of our limited visors and recognize that we are part of a mission far bigger than the world as we see it today. Our world is going to achieve redemption. God is watching over us as He has for thousands of years. We have survived and we have lived, and our people will endure. And may Hashem give each of us individually the emunah, the faith, and the strength to confront the dark of night with light. Have a beautiful Shabbos.